I'm Karina Tech, author of Scolio-Pilates, and we're here today to show you how to wedge for a C-curve. I've had a lot of requests about that, so finally we're getting around to it. So let's draw very quickly again what a C-curve is. Your head. You have a long curve that likes to live on one side of the spine. So the long curve goes from the thoracic to the lumbar, or the mid-back to the low back. Because you're not standing on your head and you are standing on your feet, we know that there's compensations for that curve. So we know that it turns around and goes the other way in the low back, and we know it turns around and goes the other way in the neck, like this. If it didn't do that, you would continue to go in the same direction. So at the bottom of your low back, of course, is your pelvis. I'm not going to take the time to correct that. Just remember that with the C-curve you have 3 curves, but you have one long curve that passes from the thoracic spine or the mid-back to the low back. Okay, that's the definition of that. Okay, let me show you very quickly on our handy-dandy spine. We have a long curve that stays on one side. If I was going to do this, then it looks more like our drawing. So this is a posterior view or a back view. We have a little, we have the long curve, we have the correction down in the pelvis, which is why the pelvis is fairly square, and we have the correction up in the neck. The correction at the neck and the lumbar curve don't very much look like curves necessarily, but they are the correcting curves. Okay, let me show you how to wedge. We have Scolio-Puppy waiting on the ground here for us. I'm going to see if I can get him up here with us. Gus, come on. Come on, come get up here. Chop, chop. He's moving fast. Speed of light. Are you ready? Come on, jump up. Yay! Everybody asks me how I get him up here. That's how. That's how we do it. It's a greenie, and he's kind of crazy for greenies. Okay, so wedging for a C-curve. This is going to be my spine. This is a C-curve, so remember long curve, thoracic, mid-back to low back. My pelvis and my neck. So this spine's a little shorter, not much shorter than I am, since it's missing a skull. I want you to imagine that I'm lying on my back right now. And since this is where the curve is on my left, then that is also the place that comes out like a convexity or a sand dune. So on my left is where it's going to be lifted or raised, or a sand dune or a convexity, whatever word helps you to visualize that. I like to use sand dune and tide pool. So on this side, this is where the wedge will go when I'm lying in supine. On this side over here, this is where our hollow is. This is where my tide pool is. When I'm in supine, I will lift the convexity or the sand dune with the wedge. And when I, yeah, there's one more, but that's for the next video. You need to lay down and be a good dog. Nah, stop. Okay, all right, so from here. Filming with dogs and children, I've been warned against this. So we have the C wedge here. You may find that you need a wedge underneath the very high thoracic on the opposite side, and underneath the pelvis on the opposite side. You'll better know once you've placed this. Once you've placed this, you can lift your head and look at your hips. Just do a tiny little crunch here. You can use your hands to lift. When you do that, you'll see if one side of the pelvis is lifted closer to the ceiling or not. On the low side, just give it a little boost. The same with the shoulders. It will be easier for someone else to see perhaps than you, but you'll stick that wedge under there. So let me show you what it looks like. Again, this is our curve. It's a C. And Gus is going to let me lay down right next to him because he's so generous with our space here. Okay. So we're going to lie down, and I'm going to take my legs apart to the edges of the mat, at least as far as I can with Gus here. From here, this is going to go underneath my thoracic to lumbar curve, and then I'm going to look at my hips, and I'm going to see that my right hip's a little low now, so this is going to go underneath my right hip, and then this is going to go underneath my right shoulder blade. I'm going to kind of stick it in at an angle so that I can still rotate my right shoulder open. So my right shoulder wants to be open, but my right ribs, the very high ones, need to be lifted. So it's going in at a 45-degree angle here. And then from here, this is where I'll do the exercises. But that's another video, which I promise we'll get out to you soon. So in supine, we have the large C wedge underneath the thoracolumbar curve. We have the small wedge underneath the pelvis, and we have another small wedge not going in straight to the spine, but going up at an angle underneath that right shoulder blade. Low enough and not very far in so that I can still open that right shoulder in that teapot arm. Okay, so that's sideline. I'm sorry, that was supine. In sideline, remember, we want gravity to help us. So if I turn this spine on its side, we're hoping that gravity can help us sink this curve down a little bit. So we're going to go for the C-curve. That's what we're going to do. We're going to work with this curve, hoping that gravity sinks it down. That means that this spine, this C-curve, is going to lie on its right side. Good. All right. So on my right side, trying to keep Gus away from the extra greenie. I'm not sure we're going to use any wedges here. Let's lie down and think about this. So on your side, with your right, with your head, with your right arm supporting. If there's one thing that Gus hates, it's my hair. It tickles. Okay, so I'm letting the thoracic lumbar spine sink. I'm going to extend my left leg. It might be out of camera, but you can tell it's extended. My bottom leg is bent. Left leg extended, right leg bent. So I'm sinking down here, keeping that thoracolumbar pushed into the mat. You're going to reach the left leg long. Because remember, we always have a compensating curve. You have this one, and then you have a compensating one. So we're going to pull that one long and keep the thoracic lumbar down. From here, keep your head reaching. If you have a ponytail, imagine someone's pulling your ponytail back and your chin into your neck. And this will be your sideline corrections. You can use wedges here, and what you can do is you can put one underneath that armpit to stay lifted. And I think we're going to leave out the lowest one because it's going to become implicated with your C-curve. And instead, we'll just reach here. Okay? All right, so from here, you can go up and down with the leg and little circles. But again, that's another video. I promise to get that to you soon. Okay, so that's sideline. If your primary curve of your C-curve is on the left, lie on the right and see if you can get that curve to touch the mat. Okay, that's your correction in C-curve. If you were going to sleep at night, you would try to sleep on that side also. It's a hard project. Don't get discouraged if it doesn't happen right away. I'm still working on that project for my own spine. Okay, so from here, we're going to work on prone. If you don't have a large wedge where you can become elongated, or you don't have, like you don't need this necessarily. This makes our life very easy. But instead, if you don't have this, if you had like a foam roller, or if you have like a tiny little narrow bench that children stand on to brush their teeth, Gus, stop it. That will work too. What you have to be careful on both of those is that your spine doesn't sink to the floor too quickly. I'll show you what I mean. So from here, I'm going to lie on my stomach, and I'm going to put my hip bones right here. Gus can smell that greenie. Gus can smell a dead seal on the beach 3 miles away, so the greenie that's under the mat here is driving him a little crazy. Okay, so my hip bones are here, my knees are apart, and my heels are touching. I'm not sure if the camera gets that or not. Stop it. Okay, from here, you're going to rest your forehead on your fingertips. So we're letting gravity take us down. What you're going to notice right away, stop it, is that the sand dune is higher, and then the opposite side, your tide pool, is sinking down. I'm going to give this to him so we can actually talk. Okay, hush. Okay, so from here I want to lift the hollow. So this is going to go underneath my right side in prone, okay? The opposite side in prone that it did in supine. So now I come down and it's lifting that hollow. What you might notice on my spine is that it's giving me a big bump on my right side. That's because I don't have a C-curve. So I'm just showing you this for demonstration purposes. So this goes from my lumbar curve to my thoracic curve, which is all on the same side. And my head goes down, and I focus on elongating here. What I might need here is underneath the left armpit on the side of the curve. I might need this to go right under the armpit. So it goes here, here, and then I come down on top of it. You'll notice if that left shoulder is sinking dramatically. If it is, then this needs to go there. Let me review one more time because I think it's a little confusing to try and see this prone position. So this is our spine. Imagine it's prone. If it's prone, this goes here to lift this hollow. This is going to go underneath the left armpit at a diagonal to keep the shoulder lifted. Okay, so it looks like this. This goes under the hollow, this goes under the armpit, and the one correction that we haven't talked about is the pelvis. So the pelvis, if you stand at my head or at my feet, you'll see that the pelvis is rocked down or it's rocked up. And so you grab another little wedge. I prefer the green ones, but I don't have them here, the Scolio rectangles. I don't have one next to me. It's going to probably go underneath my left hip to keep the left hip lifted. Left hip, right hollow, left shoulder. Clear? Clear as mud? If you try it, it'll make sense. Okay, there you have it. Wedging with the C curve and wedging with the C wedge. Okay, you let me know if you have any questions. We'll get them answered in the comments below or in the next video. If you have scoliosis, you can get your life back. Get outside, even go surfing. If you have scoliosis, you can do the really fun things that you love without pain, like hug a tree, even climb a tree. Hippocrates says that nature itself is the best physician. Get outside, go for a walk. Your very own Scolio-Puppy will thank you. And you'll be happy. I'm Karina Tech, Scolio Girl. I've spent my fair share of time learning to deal with my own scoliosis. And a big thank you to John for recording our videos for us. And from Scolio-Puppy and me, we say bye, and we hope to see you soon. Take care.